Have you ever watched your favorite childhood cartoons and thought they seemed perfectly innocent? Well, some of these beloved characters might actually have some seriously twisted secrets behind them. Let's dive into these wild theories and see if there's any truth to them. Your support makes me so excited that when I'm creating content, my whole world lights up. I have been watching SpongeBob for years, but apparently there's this crazy theory that all the main characters actually represent different mental disorders, and people on TikTok are losing their minds over this revelation.
It took me 10 years to realize that SpongeBob characters represent disorders. SpongeBob, ADHD, Patrick Star, Down syndrome, Squidward, depression, Mr. Krabs, narcissistic personality disorder, Plankton, bipolar.
According to this theory, SpongeBob himself supposedly has ADH, which honestly makes sense given how hyperactive and impulsive he is all the time. Patrick Star? Well, he's said to represent Down syndrome because of his childlike behavior and lack of understanding. Squidward represents depression. I mean, look at the guy. He's miserable 24/7. Mr. Krabs is obsessed with money, so he's supposedly meant to show obsessive-compulsive disorder. And Sandy? She represents narcissistic personality disorder because she's always bragging about being from Texas and how smart she is. Wait, there's more. Some people think SpongeBob takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. The theory goes that Bikini Bottom is actually the result of nuclear testing at Bikini Atoll in the 1940s and 50s. All these weird sea creatures with human-like intelligence, they're supposedly mutated by radiation. Think about it. Talking sponges, crabs that own restaurants, squids playing clarinet. None of that should be possible in normal ocean life. The nuclear fallout created these bizarre mutations, and that's why everyone can somehow live underwater with fire and drive boats on the ocean floor. Even though this sounds totally believable, it's actually not confirmed at all. The show's creators have never said any of this was intentional. Sometimes fans just read way too deep into things. Based on what I know, SpongeBob is just meant to be a fun, silly cartoon about friendship and adventures under the sea. But I have to admit, the mental disorder theory does make you think differently about the characters. Okay, this next one is absolutely terrifying. You know Ed, Edd and Eddy? That goofy Cartoon Network show about 3 kids trying to scam their neighbors for jawbreakers? Well, apparently there's this theory that all the kids in the cul-de-sac are actually dead. They're stuck in some kind of purgatory, doomed to repeat the same childhood activities forever. That's why the show always takes place in summer. It's an eternal loop. The kids never grow up. Their parents are never around, and they're obsessed with this one simple goal of getting jawbreakers.
Let's talk about the Ed, Edd and Eddy purgatory theory. I'm gonna try to keep this one short because it can get kind of long, but very similar to the Rugrats theory, the Ed, Edd and Eddy purgatory theory states that all the kids in the cul-de-sac are dead, and that the cul-de-sac is purgatory, and they're stuck there. Here are a few clues that led people to believe that this theory is true. 1, there are no adults around, literally ever. 2, the show takes place nowhere else but the cul-de-sac. 3, it's an endless summer that never ends school. It's just consistently them in this cul-de-sac in every single episode. And the last one is kind of eerie. So you know how everybody in Ed and Eddy has a blue, green, or some type of off-color tongue? Well, most people will believe it is because they love jawbreakers, right? Well, the purgatory theory states that the reason why all the kids have different colored tongues is because that's the color of what your tongue turns after you die. The theory even goes on to say that each of the kids actually died at different points in history, and that each one of them have their own backstories of how they died and how they ended up in purgatory cul-de-sac. But that's way too long for me to get into. Now again, we know none of this is real, we know none of this stuff is true, and nothing that I talk about, none of these videos should be taken seriously. Just a fun little way to ruin our childhood just a little bit more. So tell me, what do you think about the Ed, Edd and Eddy purgatory theory? Does it sound like it makes sense? And if there's another childhood conspiracy that you want me to cover, comment it below.
The theory gets even darker. People point out that all the kids have those weird blue-green tongues, which supposedly happens when someone dies. Each kid represents a different time period when they died. That's why their clothes and personalities are so different. Ed died in the 70s, Double D in the 80s, Eddie in the 90s, and so on. The 𝘀𝗂𝗯𝗀𝗀𝗃 sisters? They're supposed to be demons sent to torment the souls in purgatory. That would explain why they're so obsessed with tormenting the Eds specifically. This is honestly one of the creepiest theories I've ever heard. The idea that these innocent cartoon kids are actually trapped souls is just wow. But again, this is just a fan theory. The show's creator, Danny Antonucci, has never confirmed any of this. The blue tongues were probably just an animation choice to make the characters look more cartoonish. Still gives me chills, though.
Yo, did you hear that thing about Pokemon, fam?
Oh, what?
About, like, the reason why it seems like Ash never ages?
Yo, that's so true, though. Why?
Because, yo, this is what they're saying. So, in the first episode of Pokemon,
Yeah.
there's a scene where Ash is riding his bike, and he, like, falls off his bike, and he crashes.
Yeah.
And then Pikachu does, what's that thunder move called?
Thunderbolt? Or...
Yeah, so he did that after, when Ash got hit by it,
Yeah.
apparently he went into a coma. So, for the rest of the show, it was actually Ash's dreams when he was in the coma.
Yo!
Well, that's why he never ages, because he's in his own dream. He's in his own story.
Nah. I think I heard something like that, but it's like the reason why all the Officer Jennies and
They all
Nurse
look the
Joys,
same?
they all look the same.
Yo.
What if they all look the same? Because those are the nurses and police officers that helped him when he was in the coma. And that's all he remembers. Like, that was like maybe the last view.
Yeah, like the last face he saw or
Yeah,
something.
the last two faces he saw was like Officer Jenny and then Nurse Joy. That's why they're always reoccurring faces.
Yo.
Moving on to Pokemon, and this one might ruin your entire childhood. There's this massive theory that Ash Ketchum has been in a coma this whole time. Remember in the very first episode when he gets electrocuted by Pikachu while being attacked by those Spearow? Well, some fans think that accident put him in a coma, and everything we see after that is just happening in his mind while he's unconscious in a hospital bed. Think about it. Ash never ages, even though he's supposedly been traveling for years. He meets all these legendary Pokemon that should be incredibly rare, but somehow he encounters them constantly. Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy look identical in every town because his brain is just recycling the same face. Team Rocket keeps showing up everywhere because they represent his fears and insecurities that follow him around. The theory suggests that every person Ash meets represents a different part of his psyche trying to help him wake up. Brock represents his nurturing side, Misty represents his emotional growth, and all the gym leaders are mental challenges he needs to overcome. The Pokemon battles? They're his mind working through trauma and trying to heal itself. This theory became huge on social media, with people analyzing every episode for proof. But honestly, I think people are just overthinking a kid's show. The creators of Pokemon have said multiple times that Ash's journey is meant to be timeless, and that's why he doesn't age. It's not some deep psychological coma dream, it's just cartoon logic. You know what's crazy? There are literally hundreds of these dark cartoon theories floating around TikTok and other social media platforms. Tom and Jerry being about racism, the Flintstones taking place in a post-apocalyptic future, Winnie the Pooh characters all having different mental disorders. It seems like every beloved cartoon has some twisted fan theory attached to it. But here's the thing. Most of these theories are completely made up by fans who want to find hidden meanings in everything. The creators of these shows were usually just trying to make entertaining content for kids, not plant secret messages about death, mental illness, or apocalyptic scenarios. Sometimes a cartoon is just a cartoon. That said, some of these theories are so detailed and well thought out that they're actually more interesting than the original shows. Even if they're not true, they show how creative and imaginative fans can be. Plus, they definitely make you look at your childhood favorites in a completely different way. The real truth is that our childhood cartoons were probably exactly what they seem to be. Fun, innocent shows meant to entertain us. But it's kind of fascinating how our adult minds try to find deeper meanings in everything we loved as kids. Maybe that says more about us than it does about the cartoons themselves. So, what do you think? Do any of these theories seem believable to you, or are they all just creative fan fiction? Let me know in the comments which cartoon theory shocked you the most. And if you made it this far in the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more content that might completely change how you see your favorite childhood memories. I love you all so much. Stay curious, my amazing viewers.